Alright, here's the deal. We didn't trade our picks for Giannis or Durant, so the Spurs have 3 picks in this year's draft. 2nd, 14th, and 38th. The second pick is easy. You just take the best player available. Right now, that's Dylan Harper, and it's end of story. But that 14th pick, that's where things get interesting. Because that's where you have to balance 2 things. Finding someone who fits the team's real needs, especially alongside Wemby, and not passing up on a clearly better player just because he doesn't check every box. So today, I want to walk you through a few guys who could realistically be in play at 14th. We'll talk fit, upside, weaknesses, who they remind me of, and why some of these names could surprise people. Let's set the stage. Here's what the Spurs need with that second lottery pick. A 3-and-D wing who can slide between the 3 and the 4 spots, depending on the matchup. Or a mobile big. A guy who works well with Wemby, but can also hold it down as a small ball 5 next to Sochan when Wemby's resting. In both cases, the keys are size, defensive switchability, and a reliable 3-point shot, especially off the catch. The ability to rebound and hold ground physically is huge too, because right now, outside of Sochan, the Spurs don't really have another forward who can consistently do that. Let's start with the rawest prospect on the list. Carter Bryant. He's a freshman, 6'8" in shoes, with 6'11" plus wingspan. He averaged just 6.5 points and 4 boards per game, but here's the thing. He barely played. His minutes were all over the place. He was stuck in a weird role, and it's hard to say what he really is yet. What we do know, the tools are there. He shot 37% from 3, which is solid. He's got the frame and agility to be a legit 3-and-D wing, maybe even elite down the line. You watch his tape and there are flashes of a high-level defender, long arms, good instincts, quick feet. But again, he's raw. He's probably the least NBA-ready guy on this list. If you're the Spurs and you want someone who can contribute next year, this might not be your guy. But if you're willing to wait a little, the ceiling is high. If you want a comparison, think of a taller, bouncier version of Devin Vassell, but way less polished. A project, not a plug-and-play. Next up, Rasheer Fleming, a junior who's built like a tank. 6'10" in shoes, 7'5" wingspan, that's massive. He averaged 14.7 points and 8.5 rebounds, and he shot 39% from deep this year, which is a huge development because before this season, his jumper was kind of a mess. So what's the appeal? He's strong, physical, and has elite length. He protects the rim well, rebounds like crazy, and plays with real effort on defense. He's not going to switch onto guards a ton, but he can hang with most forwards, and you don't have to worry about him getting bullied inside. Now, the downside is the skill level. He's not super creative. His ball handling is basic, his passing is average, and you don't want him running any offense. He's not a scorer you can dump it to and say, go get a bucket. But that's okay. Not everyone needs to be that guy. If you're the Spurs, this could be a safe pick. Solid rotation big, ready to play, fits with Wemby, but maybe not the most exciting option. Player comp? Somewhere between Jeremy Grant and Naz Reid, maybe with a little PJ Washington in the mix. Big body, real tools, but probably never a star. Alright, now we're getting into the more intriguing territory. For picks 3 and 2, I've got 2 players who maybe aren't a perfect fit for the Spurs, and honestly, they probably won't be available by the 14th pick. But here's the thing. There's still a chance they get underrated by other scouts and slip down the draft. And between the 2 of them, I actually think their skill, talent, and ceiling are higher than Carter and Fleming. So if I were the Spurs front office, I'd jump on these guys without thinking twice. Noah Essang, 6'11" with a 7'1" wingspan, 12.4 points, 5.3 rebounds per game. But more importantly, the guy is a crazy fluid athlete for his size. Moves like a wing, plays like a big. He's the second youngest player in the whole draft, but he was already a key piece on a team that made the German League Finals. That's real production against grown men. Defensively, he's exactly what teams want. A long, mobile forward who can switch, cover ground, block shots, and hold up against multiple positions. Offensively, he's still figuring it out, but he cuts hard, finishes in transition, and shows flashes around the rim. And even though he's not a shooter yet, he hit 80% of his free throws, which usually means the touch is there. The concerns? He's skinny, gets bumped off his spot sometimes. Doesn't have much in terms of shot creation or ball handling. But he's young, he's improving fast, and the base is solid. If he keeps developing the way he is, he could turn into a high-level starter or even a fringe star. Think Pascal Siakam if you stretched him out a bit, or a less explosive Giannis with a better shooting foundation. Now this one's weird. Colin Murray-Boyles is either going to be a late lottery steal or a total head-scratcher. Depends on what you care about more, the eye test or the numbers. Because physically, he's undersized big man, which shoots only 26.5% from 3. That's bad. Like, real bad. But then you look at the advanced stats. 16.8 points, 8.3 rebounds per game, elite defensive metrics, massive impact on both ends. His box plus minus was 11.1. Better than Bam Adebayo, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen had in college. That's wild. What stands out most is his defense. He's one of the best defenders in this class, and he can guard 5 positions. Not in theory, in practice. Switch onto a guard? No problem. Body up a big? Sure. He's tough, disciplined, and relentless. He averaged more steals, blocks, and rebounds than most NBA bigs did in their draft years. Think Bam Adebayo level defensive production. Not the same athlete, but the same type of impact. On offense, he's more of a connector than a creator. He moves the ball well, attacks closeouts, and finishes through contact. He's strong, he's decisive, and he doesn't need the ball to make an impact. Worst case, a valuable role player who plays smart basketball and makes everyone around him better. Best case, something like Draymond on defense and Julius Randle on offense, with better decision-making. At number 1, I've got Cedric Howard as my favorite fit for the Spurs. He's listed at about 6'7" plus in shoes, with a massive 7'2" wingspan. That's a +9, which would instantly rank him among the best in the NBA in that category. This dude averaged 17.7 points, 7 boards, and 3.7 assists while shooting 40% from 3. Not bad at all. He's a late bloomer. Played 3 years in college, started out at a tiny school, worked his way up. But now, he's polished, confident, and physically ready. What stands out is how complete his game looks already. He's confident as a shooter both from deep and around the rim. He's got above-average defense, good instincts, and he moves his feet really well. In 21 years old, he's physically and mentally ready. Of course, he's not perfect. His handle is pretty average, and he only played 7 games this year because of an injury. So yeah, the sample size is small, and his numbers might be inflated a bit. But even with that, the combination of fit and talent is super clean for the Spurs. He looks like someone who could step in and contribute at the SF spot from day one. As to comparison, experts usually say about Jalen Williams. Not quite as shifty with the ball and not the same kind of small ball big, but the feel, the balance, the all-around game, it's there. So, to recap, best case scenario, Cedric Howard. If you want upside and believe in development, Esanger Murray-Boyles makes sense. If you want raw tools and are willing to wait, maybe roll the dice on Carter Bryant. And if you just want a solid rotation big who can hold his own, Fleming checks that box. Let me know in the comments who you take at 14. It's still for free.